Hello and welcome to my very first live for Trust Links Live. I think I better start off with some introductions. So my name's Rachel Summers, and I don't live in southeast Essex at all, but as you can tell from my accent I kind of used to, so you can spot that my accent is from southeast Essex, so I'm not completely interloper. At the moment I live in Walthamstow in northeast London, and Matt's asked me to come and do some lives because of what I do for my day job, and my day job is that I'm a forest school practitioner, so I get to spend the day outdoors, pretty much outdoors all day every day, which is really great thing to be able to do, and I really enjoy it, and I get to play with children and make dens and have fires and make mud pies and sometimes pretend to eat mud pies. I'm really very good at pretending that I can't see children who are hiding behind trees. That's one of my talents. And what I'm going to do for you today is I'm going to do some cooking, because I thought it'd be quite nice to do some cooking, and I've got my fire pit here, so I'm going to be doing some cooking on the fire, but you don't have to do this cooking on the fire. So this is something that you might like to cook yourselves, but if you want to cook it in your kitchen, then I'm not judging you. So the thing that I've brought for us to cook is something that smells really lovely, and here, if I hold it up to the camera, can you see we've got some elderflowers? You've probably spotted these around and about. Some of you have probably picked some. Maybe you've made elderflower cordial or elderflower champagne. It's almost the end of elderflower season down here. It took me a bit of hunting to find a tree where they hadn't all started turning into berries, but I looked and I did find them. So just in case you're wondering what an elderflower tree should look like, here are some leaves that I helpfully picked for you. We've got leaves that are generally 5 to 7 of, I'll turn the right way up then, Matt, up this way instead, there we are. 5 to 7 leaves like this, and they come opposite each other. So here's 2 and here's 2 and here's 1 at the end. Sometimes there's 5, sometimes there's 7. It's one of the first trees to bud up in the springtime as well, and so you might be able to recognise it from that. And around this time of year, a tiny bit earlier, I don't know what it's like down your way, it starts bursting into blossom, and here's these white blossoms, and you can smell them as you go past. They're really rather lovely. So we've got these ones here. If I get a couple of different ones for you, you can kind of tell the difference to how long they've been hanging around on the tree. So I've got 3 different types of blossom for you here. So we've got these ones here, which kind of look a little bit worse for wear. They're still all right. They've not started turning into berries yet, but these ones look much more white, and these ones kind of look a bit more greenish. So what we're wanting is the ones that have just started turning into flowers. These ones here have still got quite a lot of buds, but I think they're still going to taste nice. But this one here, I think is the one that's going to taste the best, because it's really kind of frothy and that kind of greeny, creamy white, rather than that older white with little brown bits coming. You can see it just looks a bit more juicy, a bit less dry. So we're going to be doing some cooking with the elderflowers. We're going to turn them into elderflower fritters, which are really, really nice. I did loads of these last year. Last year, when we were all allowed to be with people, I did elderflower fritters day after day after day with all my different groups. I cooked hundreds of the things over a week, but they were very nice. Hi, Mum. And so we're going to make some elderflower fritters out of this marvellous elder. Now, I don't know what you know about elder trees, but if you've read Harry Potter, you know that elder trees are quite magical, and that's because actually J.K. Rowling does know her kind of wood lore, and traditionally they were seen as a really magical tree. You're meant to, apparently, ask an elder for permission before you cut any of it off. So I didn't, I'm afraid. Shh, don't tell. But if I wanted to be really, really proper about things, I should have said, "Excuse me, elder, please can I take some of your lovely flowers to make my elderflower fritters?" That is only polite, isn't it? Hello, Alex. So I'm going to start the fire in here, and then we're going to whisk ourselves up some batter here with my lovely whisk I made out of my Christmas tree. Really easy batter, and I've got sparkling water and plain flour. You can make it with corn flour or with some other gluten-free flour if you want, and no one's allergic to water, are they? So it's quite a good thing to be able to have. So we've got my fire here. So I've built up, I've got big sticks at the bottom and then littler sticks at the top. I've got some cotton wool here. I will do one about actually lighting fires sometimes. This is fire for a purpose instead. I've got some cotton wool, got some Vaseline just for an easy ride because I'm wanting to use a fire rather than spend ages lighting it with little bits of fluffy, exciting, wild matter. So I've got my flint and steel here. If you see, I can spark them. I don't know if you can see the sparks. I can see them here, but I don't know if they're coming through on your picture. And I'm going to spark onto my cotton wool until it starts to burn. I'm going to feed it, put some little bits of birch bark, get that fire going, and some tinier sticks on the top, because fires are a little bit like people. When they're little, like little babies, well, you can only eat a little bit at a time, and Eleanor knows all about that. She knows all about how little tiny babies can eat. I know she's got bags that show how much they can fit in their tummy, and it's not much when they're little. And it's the same with a fire. They don't need lots and lots. They need tiny little sticks. They can't manage to eat the big gigantic sticks yet. So we've got our little sticks coming in on the top on here. This one smells nice. This is more bits of my old Christmas tree. Christmas in June, that's nice here, isn't it? Christmas tree whisk, Christmas tree fire. So I'm going to carefully lay those on the top. It's starting to burn up nicely there. So I'm going to give it some slightly bigger sticks. Now it's getting a bit more grown up and a bit more hungry. And what about that one there? That's a nice kind of stick, nice kind of size. And hopefully that fire will burn its way down through the tiny sticks onto the bigger sticks and the bigger sticks still, and then we'll have a nice hot fire to cook on. So while we let the fire get on with that, we're going to mix up our batter. So I've got my bowl and I've got my whisk and I've got my flour over here, and I let you see the baby fire. I can try, I don't want to drop you in the fire. Can you see the fire there? There we are. I think that's as good as I can get you without dropping you in the fire. It's very tricky because here you are stuck on a stand rather than in somebody's hand. Maybe next time I'll grab a child to make them hold it instead. Put some flour in here. Don't need loads and loads because I'm not feeding an army, not this time. I'm not doing a class of 30 one after another, am I? And you would think that this wouldn't really make very good batter, wouldn't you? Flour and sparkling water, but it does. Sparkling water rather than still. It all bubbles up on the inside like this. Thanks, Alex. It's a very nice fire, but you know that I'm good at fires. Fires is my talent. So I'm going to put that down carefully so it doesn't wobble onto my fire. We're going to whisk up the batter, the flour and the sparkling water. I think it's a bit too lumpy at the moment. We'll put a bit more water inside. It's all fizzing up. Don't know if you can hear that glugging in and fizzing. And whisk it to get all those lumps out until it's nice and runny. I'm going to put that on one side just to settle down. The next thing I need to do, this is a bit that obviously you can do in a house. You don't need to make an exciting fire to do it first, although that is more fun really. Now I've got some logs along the top of my fire to be kind of like a trivet. Can you see how I can balance my pot on the top there? Don't know if you can see that, can you? Can you see that, Mum? You can balance it on the top there and the fire can curl around the sides. So I'm going to fill it with some oil. I don't need tons and tons, but we are going to fry these fritters in the oil, so I need enough for them to sizzle. Now remember, with oil it gets really dangerous when it's hot. So you have to be super careful with the oil. Make sure it's steady. I'm kneeling by the fire in case there's any accidents I can spring away straight away. I'm not going to be sitting cross-legged, otherwise I'll never get away in time. So I'm going to sit next to the fire and I'm going to wait until I can see that oil starting to bubble, so I know it's starting to boil. And I'm going to test it by dropping in a little bit of of the batter, and we'll see if the batter starts to cook inside. I think it might be another minute or two. Let's have a try. Shall I drop in a little bit of batter? No, it's just sitting in the bottom like little bubbles. It looks a little bit like, I don't know if you remember those toys you used to get, executive toys, you know, you turn them upside down and the oily bubbles come past. Let's move you around here. You're very clever managing to get in the way of all the smoke, even if you're not actually here in person. I thought that was a skill that only actual people had. Right, you can see that those bubbles are starting to cook. They've got little bubbles around them where they're starting to cook, but they're not quite there yet. They are starting to cook a little bit, but the hotter the oil, the crispier our elderflower fritters are going to be. So I'm going to sort through my fritters. So I've got this one, which was a really nice yellowy one, haven't I? And this one here, I'm just going to pinch the leaves off. So the leaves will give you a tummy ache. You don't want to eat them. You don't really eat the stalks either. Got another nice fresh one there. Let's see what else we can do. I might try the one that's still in bud, see what that one tastes like, and leave that one that's gone a bit brown. This one's not bad either. So I've got 4 nice fritters, and I've cut them with long stems on here because that's going to help me when I put them inside the oil, help to lift them in and lift them out again. Right, oh, they're bubbling away like billio in there now. So I think we might be ready to start our first fritter. If I turn you around so you can see. Right, we've got our batter. Whisky, whisky, whisk. Put that down on a plate. Right, let's find my first elderflower fritter. Right, I'm going to dip it in the batter. Dip, 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 dip. Dancing around inside. I'm going to lift it out and let it drip for just a minute so the flowers are coated. Looks like a kind of soggy pom-pom, doesn't it? And then I'm going to dip it straight into the fat. Now, did you hear that sizzle? And you hear it bubbling inside? Well, I'm going to see if I can move you over so you can see. Can you see that bubbling inside the oil? So what we're waiting for is until it goes nice and crispy and golden brown. You can see little bubbles coming up from the batter in between the flowers as well. Right, let's see if I can pop you back in here without knocking you over. What's that? What are you saying there? Is that looking tasty, you reckon? Right, hello people who haven't been here yet. So I'm making some elderflower fritters. We've got elderflowers here, like you might have found off the trees. I've cut them with longish stalks, so handy to hold on to. I've got a fire here in my garden, but you don't have to do a fire. You can do it in your kitchen. It's just I really like fires, so it's a good excuse for me. And I think this one's probably getting towards ready, so I'm going to lift it up carefully. You can see why I left it with a nice long stalk now, and lay it down on a plate. Have a look at that. Looks really tasty, doesn't it? I'm going to let that one cool down just a moment. Shall we try fritter number 2? I'm going to dip it inside here, float it all around a bit, hold it up, let it drip, and I'm going to listen out for the sizzle. Oh, that was a better sizzle this time. I'm going to let it sizzle inside, and I have got some honey to drizzle with them as well. Might see if my family wants to come and do some eating, if they're feeling funny, if they're feeling hungry after all their hard work just today with school and stuff. It's starting to go golden on the top. Elderflower fritters are lovely. You wouldn't think that eating flowers could be so tasty, but I suppose we do eat cauliflowers and they're flowers as well, aren't they? And broccoli, that's flowers. Don't really think of flowers as food, not all the time. Right, shall we lift this one out? I'll let it drip. Oh, ta-da! Crispy and delicious. Right, let's try another one. Shall we try the one that's really not quite flowering yet? Dip it in here. Dip, 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 dip. Let it drip, 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 drip. Right, you ready for the sizzle? There it goes. Hopefully you can hear that. Can you smell them? Can you smell them in there? Waft, waft the smell through. Smell elderflowers, that kind of sweet honey smell of the elderflowers, and lots of wood smoke. And the savoury smell of nice bubbly batter. Well, this one's cooking fast. They're cooking fast now. Right, carefully lift that one up. That was much speedier, wasn't it? There we are. Have a look at that one. Right, did we reckon there was one more in here that looked tasty? Which one did we like the look of? This one here, that one looks nice. Occasionally you get elderflowers which are a bit covered in flies. Try to choose the ones that aren't so flyy, but if you do by an accident, I suppose it doesn't matter too much. Right, let's pop that one in there. Oh, sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. And Alex, if you're watching, can you bring out the oven gloves? Because I forgot them. I need to take this off the heat in a minute. Right, one more elderflower fritter to put out. Whoop, here it comes. Right, I'm going to move you around over here so that I can actually see you through the smoke. Oh, I'm feeling sweaty now after being on a hot fire. So over here, I've got some local honeys. This one's E11 honey, just down the road. I'm in Walthamstow, so I'm in E17. E11 honey is very tasty as well. And London honey's gorgeous. Look at the colours of that. I think it's similar to yours, isn't it? Because if you're in a urban environment, there's lots of different flowers around, aren't there? So it makes the honey really rich. And although they are nice plain, and Mum, I'm sure you would probably eat them plain, but maybe you could be tempted with a little bit of honey. I'm going to drizzle some honey onto mine. Which fritter do I like the look of? I'm going to go. Thank you, Alex. You're right, just carefully without burning yourself, taking off the walk and just putting it down on the floor. Thanks, love. Right, so here we are. Here's a fritter for me. Oh, shall I pay you, Alex? Do you need paying with a fritter for your speedy treatment? Right, let's drizzle him on some honey. Right, elderflower fritter with honey coming up, Alex.
Thank you very much.
So he's going to hold it a bit like a lollipop, with the stick being like the lollipop stick. I'm going to drizzle my honey on mine over here.
Oh, yum.
They're good, aren't they?
Really
move it round so they can watch you eat. There you are.
Hi, everyone.
This is Alex, in case you don't know Alex. So you're not going to eat the stems. Remember what I was saying, the stalks are going to give you a tummy ache. We don't want them. You're just going to hold it like a lolly and then nibble off the flowers that are all cooked in that tasty batter.
Hope this is a good advert for them.
Yeah, I didn't pay him to yum.
I've had these before. They're really good.
I made them with reception children last summer, and it was funny because when the children came over, I was saying to the children and to their teachers, you know how sometimes grown-ups say, try it, you might like it, and it's a food you've never had before. I said, well, today we're going to be cooking a food that none of you have eaten before, and if the grown-ups don't want to eat it, you can try saying that to them. Try it, you might like it, because they might like it. And you know what? Lots of the grown-ups didn't even give it a try, which I thought was a real shame.
Oh,
they
nice.
do taste very nice. But all the children gobbled them up. Who's that saying something? Oh, sorry, Mum.
Oh,
I'll send it in the post.
I'm eating this on your behalf.
Have you got an elderflower tree near you? Because if you have, maybe you could go and pick some, if they're still going. Found these down by the railway track. Elder trees are really good at finding on kind of waste ground, because they have self-seeded often because of the berries. So many animals like the berries, and then they eat the berries and then they run off, and then they poo out the seeds, and the seeds grow into trees all over the place. And I think in a way you can see why people thought they were magical trees, because they are just so versatile. There's so many things that you can get from an elder, because obviously the flowers, we've already talked today that you might make cordial, or might make champagne, or elderflower fritters, you can make elderflower tea, and then you get the berries and you can turn them into all kinds of different things. And then the wood itself is really useful. They think that the elder is called an elder because of the word eld, which means fire. Not that you can burn elderwood, because it makes quite toxic smoke, but because of the fact that you can hollow it out, and people used to use them to blow through to get a fire starting. Not that I need much help with that fire today, it's very excitable.
Thank you for my payment, Rachel.
You're welcome. Might steal your seat. Get away from the fire on this hot day. There's my elderflower fritters for you. Just to recap, in case you missed it at the beginning. So you're getting the elderflowers when they're quite fresh and they've just come out of bud, rather than when they're a bit old and crusty looking and looking a bit like they're going to turn into berries soon. And then you're going to mix up some batter out of, yes, exactly, elder wand in Harry Potter. You're going to mix up some batter out of just plain flour and sparkling water, just tempura batter. You can make it more fussy if you like, you can add some sugar if you like, maybe add some salt if you like, but really just keep it simple. I find it seems to work perfectly fine. And then you heat up some oil, dip the flowers, leaving a long stalk, into the batter, and then into the oil, and they take seconds really, not even a whole minute. They bubble away until they've gone crispy and brown on the outside. Take them out, and then we've drizzled ours with honey. They're very nice indeed. So that's what I've been cooking today, elderflower fritters. And apparently I'm on again this time next week. And one thing I had noticed, I was wondering what to cook for you today actually, because I was kind of dithering, shall I do something with elderflowers or shall I not, because I know that they're kind of, oh, sorry, I've got a spark over here. Just put that out with my sparkling water. Spark in a bag, that's exciting. I can smell smoke behind me. But I was looking around and I'm thinking, oh, the elderflowers are nearly gone, so maybe I should prioritise elderflowers today. What was that? Can you use still water? I don't know, I've never tried with still water. I think it might just turn into glue. I think all the recipes I've seen for tempura batter say sparkling water. So try sparkling water. You can get a little one, can't you? And then drink the rest and feel like you're very posh while you eat your elderflower fritters. Make yourself a posh sensational dinner. So yeah, so I was walking around thinking, shall I do elderflowers? And I thought I probably should do them today, just because by next week they're definitely all going to be gone. So move fast on that. But what I was noticing is that yesterday when we were walking and I was taking my son along to school, the lime flowers are starting to come out. So next week we're going to be doing something with lime flowers, because we've done lots of stuff with elderflowers, and last year I was thinking, I've made elderflower cordial, I've made elderflower champagne, I've made elderflower fritters, all these elderflower things, and then I suddenly noticed all the lime flowers. I thought, oh, I wonder if there's anything we can do with that, and we made lime flower, linden flower, it's the same name for different trees, cordial. And so that's what we're going to do next week. We'll go along and we'll find the lime trees and make the lime tree cordial. I think I'll probably better stop wittering away at you now and maybe put my fire out or get my kids out and make them toast some marshmallows. But it was very nice to see you, very nice to meet you, people who I don't know yet, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!